Best goal I've scored, I would probably say, without a shadow of doubt, was the first goal that we scored against Formby in the Challenge Cup. Reason for that, got us going basically. We knew it was going to be a tough game against them. We knew a lot of the lads because a couple of years later they ended up playing at this ground, and so we knew that they would be a tough side, and to get that first goal and then go and comfortably win the game 3-0 and get that first piece of silverware for the club since it reformed was brilliant. So for me, definitely that was probably one of the best goals that I've scored for Runcorn. Best goal from a teammate? Good question, you got me on the spot with that one. I'd probably have to say Kurt's against, I think it was Abbey Hay away, I think last year. I wasn't playing in that game, I was actually on the bench. But yeah, that was something else, to be fair, and it even made it on Soccer AM, which was good. So yeah, I'd have to say technical wise, and technique, that was spot on. Like, yeah. Best game, I would probably say, I'm going back to it, but it'd have to be the Formby game, only for the fact of the occasion. It was massive for the club. And we knew there was a lot of pressure on us to go out there and perform and get that first piece of silverware for the club and for the fans, and under the lights and on a lovely pitch, and it just happened for us that night, and the fans, when that third goal went in, when we scored that penalty, and we've seen those videos over the years, still gives me goosebumps now. So I'd have to say certainly that game, without a shadow of a doubt. Best player I've played with, is this at Runcorn?
Yes,
it's at Runcorn. Okay. I would probably say best player I've played with at Runcorn, and I don't know, I don't really want to be saying it, but I'll probably say Mucker. Only because he just seems to have a knack of scoring important goals, and digging us out here or there when we've needed it, and he's one of the lads, and he's a winner, as simple as that, and he's our captain this year, and rightfully so. I don't really want to be bigging him up, to be honest with you, but some of the stick he gives me, but I'd have to say over the 4 years that I've spent here, and I've spent 4 years playing with Mucker, I'd probably say him. I would probably say a couple of years back, when I was playing sort of on the left-hand side of the three, we played Stockport Sports at home. I think it was the opening game of the season. Yeah. And there was I think it was Ricky Annan, I think his name was. Yeah, the fullback. And I'd known a bit about him before it. He played at a higher level and whatnot. And yeah, he was tough. He was a good player.
He was player of the year that year as well.
He was a good player, going forward and defensively. So, asking me on the spot, that player does spring to mind. Hardest team that we've played against, I would probably say South Shields this year, because 1-11 they're a good side, and people that went to the game will have seen how well they've done on and off the ball. But we knew it was going to be a tough game, but we went there and we gave them a good fright, and they're favourites for the Vars, but I can see why they're favourites for the Vars. They were a good side, and we had to work really hard that day, and unfortunately we didn't get the result, but we pushed them to the end. Again, it's winning that cup. I mean, I wish it was winning this league, to be honest with you, because I want to get out of this league, but I would say winning that cup was certainly one of the best moments that I've had here. And there's been many times where we've won games late on. Yeah. I can name a few, like when we played Congleton here a couple of years ago under the lights, we were 3-1 up, went back to 3-3, went up the other end and scored to make it 4-3. There's games where we've played, this year Bootle and AFC, where those nights on a Tuesday when the floodlights are on, the crowds, getting behind us are really good. So, but yeah, go back to that cup game. That's certainly one of the worst one's got to be the Padiham, just gone away. Only reason being was obviously we didn't win the league, unfortunately. We knew we had to win by 6 goals and hope that Colne didn't win. and we were 5-0 up, and they were drawing, and for that split second, I was on the bench while it was all going on. I came on last 10 minutes or so. I knew that potentially this could be our day, and unfortunately it wasn't. And that feeling again, 3 times on the run to finish second, you know, it hurts, and you feel like you're repeating it every year. You know, we'll come back stronger, and you know, this year's no different. And it's a bit different this year because there's 5 or 6 teams in there that can go and win it, and hopefully, you know, fingers crossed this year we can get out this league and push on. I knew they were a well-supported club. I knew a lot of the lads prior to coming here, so I knew the likes of Berkey, Wadey, Simo was here, and Duffy from the Skelmersdale days. So and I always looked out for Runcorn to see how they were doing because of those lot, and I knew that, you know, there was always a good few hundred on the gate, and I used to always think, you know, that's more than at Skelm we're getting, you know, a couple of leagues higher. So I knew that it was a well supported club, and I knew it, you know, would have great potential. So yeah, I just love the club, to be honest with you. You know, we've had turmoil, as they like to call it, and we've had a big change of players and staff, a complete overhaul. So, you know, we've gone through the first couple of months with the uncertainty of, you know, how we're going to get on this year. Are we going to struggle? Are we going to be relegation candidates? Which I thought was just ridiculous. But anyway, that's what got branded to us.
Do you prefer it this year?
Well, I say in terms of
the lads here, you know, the spirit.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, every year is different because you'll always have that sort of 1 or 2 players coming and going. But this year it's completely new. So although there's 2 or 3 of us still here, you know, we've got a good set of young and old lads. So we've got a good balance there. And it's just a great club to be at. I love the fans. I love the setup. I feel comfortable here. There was just never a reason for me to go, so I'm glad to stay because, you know, we're challenging now, and who would have thought that only a couple of months ago. So it's good. Well, I started off at Preston as a schoolboy, so I was at the age of, I think, about 8 or 9. I went there, and I was there till I was about 15. Fortunately, got let go, and then I was sort of spent a year out of the game. You know, I was only 15, 16 at the time, so I just, you know, sort of played with my friends for a couple of years, tried to get back enjoying it. And then I went to college and did a scheme with Southport, and ultimately it got me a sort of contract there. So I went there for a year, and then from then on, I always had a mind of trying to make it in the game, but I always had an age in my mind to say, well, if I've not made it by that point, you know, then I would, you know, take a step back and not put as much pressure on myself. So I said at the age of 25, if I hadn't made it, then, you know, I'd still play football, but I wouldn't put that pressure on myself to do it. So unfortunately, it didn't happen. I did go on trial at Stockport. I had a chance potentially. I went on trial at Stockport when I was at Skelmersdale. And for one reason or another, it didn't work out. I think at the time they were in financial difficulties. They were playing in League 1 or 2, but they went into administration, and as you know, they fell down the leagues. Whether that was a factor or not, I don't know. But these things happen. But I'm just enjoying my football as it is at the moment. So hopefully it continues. On the pitch, I mean, I'm normally quite a placid person anyway, so I'm not really one for really shouting at people. I'm more a sort of arm round people and, you know, have a chat with people before games. Mucker's very much that, you know, let's get us going, you know, very vocal, which is what you need to be as a captain. So not a lot's changed really, but you still feel like you've got that responsibility that you need to lead by example, certainly, and not do silly things, and just, you know, be good role models for people really, and represent the club well is certainly what you need to do. So yeah, I would always growing up with Michael Owen, because I'm a Liverpool fan. Growing up, and I only went for Michael Owen as a sort of role model, if you like, because he was similar to me when, you know, growing up. I'm not that tall now, and I'm quite slight, and he was the sort of same makeup and base his game around pace and, you know, tenacity and work rate, and that's what I aspire to be. Unfortunately, obviously, didn't reach those heights. But as a role model growing up, Michael Owen was one of them. Fantastic. Oh, you can't miss him. Unfortunately, whenever I score, I seem to go off the other way. So hopefully, if I play today and I score, yeah, and I always go the wrong way, and they always say you need to come the left-hand side.
What's your favourite song?
It's the one that they always chat. I think I've only got one.
Oh, I mean,
in general, I keep going back to Mucker's song. I like that one. He's gonna love it. Yeah, I particularly like that one. But I just love the fans being vocal as much as they can. I appreciate sometimes we don't give them some, things to cheer about, but it makes a difference for them to really ramp it up. And home and away, they're great. I can't knock them. It's they're fantastic, and I just want them to continue that and keep supporting us. Ambitions, certainly to get out this league, it's got to be a main priority. We know how difficult it is. Only one goes up. Until that system changes, we know what we've got to deal with, and we've just got to go out there and produce it and get over that finish line. And the league above is one of them. When you get out of this league, a lot of the teams have carried on. I think the only one was Padiham, who went up and came straight back down. But more often than not, they keep going up and up the leagues and competing. So if we can get out this league, there's a huge potential for us to go on, and who knows what will happen. So that's certainly one thing for myself that I want to achieve here. Right, okay. Well, not today anyway. No, I've got some stick over that, to be fair. I didn't play last Saturday, and I didn't train on Tuesday, and they were like, why aren't you training, why aren't you playing? Oh, my head's still sore. Oh, you do feel tired. I mean, it's banter with the lads, but no, it's not still sore, and hopefully I can play today and get back to it. So yeah.